What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Shiva Israel here. If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. And if you're an OG subscriber, what's good? Welcome back. So recently in one of my other videos, we talked about choosing your best hairstyle for your face shape. But in today's video, we're going to talk about fashion for your body types. What best styles work on your body to look your best? Even if you don't have the body of your dreams yet, you can still respect the body that you currently have. That's one of the things that I really learned on my recent fitness journey. And that's a reason why I also took it very slow, is because I really wanted to learn to respect and value the body that I had. And I dressed in ways to uplift that body type every time. A lot of times it's not even that you look as bad as you think you do. You're just not dressing to accentuate your body's features. A lot of times we can actually psych ourselves into thinking we look worse than we do. And it's really that we're just not picking the right outfits for our bodies. So in this video, we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts for different body types and the best way to accentuate your figure. Now, I'm not one to tell nobody what to do, so these are optional. Do what you will with the information. This is just information to help you make decisions. So let's get started with pear shapes. And if you're unaware of what a pear shape is, it's when you are smaller up top and then you get wider around the hips and the thigh areas, essentially like a pear. Now, this body type is more of a celebrated, on average body type, so you can kind of take the do's and you don't, like just being real for how you want to take them. If having wider hips is something you want to bring in more and cause an illusion of being slimmer for yourself, A-line skirts are going to look amazing on you. In general, A-line skirts are just going to look amazing on pear-shaped bodies, as well as high-waisted pants or skirts or whatever bottoms you want to wear. You want to wear things that are going to elongate the leg and make it look like it's a longer, slimmer lower half. Because typically, if you're pear-shaped, I mean, some people just got the structure, but typically those people are shorter on the bottom half. You can also give yourself the illusion of an hourglass with this kind of figure if you choose wider tops. Like wider shoulder tops is going to create more of a balance between where your shoulder and your hip is. Also bringing attention to the top with statement pieces, maybe more bulk and more fabric up in the top area. That'll again cause you to look more like an hourglass than even just a pear alone. This is a body shape that typically has a slimmer waist and wider hips, so this is going to look good in bodycon clothing pretty easily. What you do kind of want to avoid is maybe those longer tops that cut you off right at the hip. I would also say you might want to stay away from like those wide kind of ruffly tops as well that make you lose your waist, because then it's going to meet you and make you look bulkier like right at your hip, if you care about those things. If you want to give your lower half the appearance of looking slimmer, I would go with lighter tops and darker bottoms, but again, it's up to you. Some people want to accentuate it. Off shoulder works great, boat neck works great, the fold over shoulder works really great. Anything that widens the shoulders and gives you that hourglass look is going to look really good on you. Peplum, if you're into that, is also a good look on pear-shaped bodies because it accentuates having a slimmer waist, but also is very flattering on the lower area. Now let's talk apple shape. Apple shape does have a lot of troubles when it comes to finding the most flattering clothing, because unfortunately what we tend to put on a pedestal in society as far as body shapes typically doesn't fit the apple shape. And that can be disheartening, because what are you going to do about it? That's just your body, you know? And I kind of get that, because I do tend to lean just a tad apple when I gain weight. I'll still get the curves everywhere else, and it's more distracting, so people don't necessarily pay attention. But I very much be noticing. So I feel the pain of someone who has a complete apple-shaped body. It's actually very hard to get dressed for. Everything that's just trendy and easy to get doesn't necessarily work. So with this shape, the goal is really to create a slimmer midsection and wider hips and wider shoulders, kind of creating the illusion of an hourglass as much as possible. When you're an apple shape, everything about you, like basically perimeter wise, tends to stay pretty small or smaller compared to how you grow in the midsection. So slimmer legs, slimmer arms, you know, just a slimmer body outside of that. So your goal with this body shape, unless you want to accentuate, it's up to you. But your goal with this body shape is to try to create your waist to look slimmer to match the rest of your body. So for me personally, when that was more of a hot issue for me, I would really lean into wrap dresses. It would create the illusion of a slimmer waist and give me more of that hourglass look. And even if you are a true apple and not maybe just somebody dealing with belly fat issues just a tad, it's going to create the illusion of a smaller waist. An apple shape and a wrap dress go together. You can also lean into the empire waist look as well, and that is when the cutoff is here. It's, you know, defined in this area in the chest and then flows out from here. It's that baby doll, that Bridgerton kind of look. A lot of dresses like that aren't very much in style, so those are harder to find. However, those baby doll tops, I do believe, are pretty available. There's also a great lounge set on Fashion Nova that allows you to really hide the midsection and accentuate the slim areas on you. With this body type, you want to really go in accentuating up top. Put the focus on your neckline. So again, off shoulder, V-neck, plunging neckline, one shoulder, like anything, show the skin up top. Bring the attention up here. When you accentuate your shoulders, it gives a wider effect so you can create that more hourglass look. It's gonna come out wider than your stomach is. Bottoms wise, this body type does very well with like a boot cut or a bell bottom, just type of bottom that's going to give you that curve in and out. You want to avoid, I mean, you can still do what you want to do. I don't want to tell people not to wear bodycon. If you're confident enough in your skin and that's what you want to do that. But if you were trying not to accentuate that, I would move away from bodycon. And if you do go into it, I think it looks the best when you do it in layers. You really want to stay away from anything that's going to add bulk to your midsection or take away from shape. You're trying to accentuate shape. This kind of still goes into bodycon, but like you almost really want to stay away from tight tops and tight bottoms as well, because that is going to accentuate the midsection if you don't have the other curves to kind of balance that out. But that's something to, you know, evaluate for yourself and see what you want to do. I ain't telling nobody you got to do what it is. I'm just giving you the information to go forth and do what you will. You also really want to avoid tops and bottoms that are going to make your torso look shorter. Because typically if you have an apple shape, your torso is probably also on the shorter side. And so you don't want to do anything that's going to take away from that looking elongated. So those crop tops that like come to right below or at the belly button, you probably want to stay away from those because those make the waist look bulky if you have a short torso. You can cut them a little higher or maybe just stay away from that area if you want to, or if you like how it looks, you can wear it. But if you want to avoid your waist looking bulkier, those crop tops cut you off at the wrong area. Now let's get into hourglass real quick because, I mean, it's hourglass. In our society, who really is mad at an hourglass? They can kind of do no wrong. They can really do whatever they want. It's sick. I'm not even really going to do a whole bunch of do's because, again, that's like the prototype for what we even see online when we're shopping for clothes. They'll put anything on an hourglass. But in accentuating that body type, just like the apple body shape, actually, those look great in wrap dresses because it's accentuating the tininess of the waist and how balanced your shoulder to hip ratio is. Belts on the waist are also really good on hourglass shapes as well. To really up it when you have an hourglass shape, you basically want to do anything that you can to highlight the slim part of the waist. Bodycon looks great on this body shape because the silhouette is truly made for that, to be honest. Now, there are still things you might want to avoid when you have this body type though, and that is shapeless clothing, because when you take away from the waist, it can make you look bulky because this body shape does have wider shoulders and wider hips. So if you wore, let's say, a straight down dress in this body type, it's gonna hide that you have a small waist and it's going to make you look a lot bigger than you actually are if that's not your goal. Empire and baby doll on this body shape's not really gonna be your bag either. You don't really wanna head into clothing that's gonna hide your waist because that's how you show your actual shape. You can still balance it out though. It's not to say everything you wear must be form-fitting. I would say, you know, if you like a baggier type of bottom, then on the top, you probably want to wear something that's going to be a little tighter, balance it out. Now let's talk about the rectangle shape. As a person who's in shape now, my teeterings, depending on how I've built my body, I can lean rectangle and I can lean hourglass. I relate to the apple because my midsection can be hard to build muscle in, but I'm not necessarily an apple build. With this body type, you want to find accessories and clothing that accentuates the waist the same way an hourglass would. But this time it's because you're trying to create the illusion of a smaller waist. So belts on the waistline also do really well on this body type. A wrap dress is also going to do really well on this body type. I would say you might want to stay away from the belts on the waist with this if you also have a short torso. Flared bottoms really do accentuate on this body type as well to create more curves. When you are a rectangle shape, your hips are very narrow and it's in line with your shoulders. But if you turn to the side though, that side view is probably giving a lot of action. This body type is going to do well with layers. You're gonna create more dimensions and more depth to your body. So you're gonna do great with jackets, great with scarves, just great with layers. This body type also does really well with bodycon as well as the off-shoulder look. If you really wanted to get into it, creating some shape and dimension on a rectangle body, get you an off-shoulder top, maybe the kind that folds over, add some bulk, and then an A-line bottom. That's gonna add more shape coming off of the hip and more up top. It'll really create some curve. You can kind of have fun shape shifting with a rectangular body. What you do want to stay away from as a rectangle is the empire waist and the baby doll looking tops. If you have straight, narrower hips, you're going to create a lot of width where you probably don't want it, and then a slim area where you probably don't want it. It's not gonna offset each other well. So those are some tips and tricks on how to dress for your body type, no matter what body type it is. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what shape do you have and how do you like to dress. I wanna know, I wanna hear from you.